trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick
Friday
trading
sales.
podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast.
I'm probably hitting things I shouldn't.
Guiding me through my hopes and fears.
Guiding me through my hopes and fears.
Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for
Good
the
morning, by the way. Good morning,
newsletter,
Wendy,
let us
Josh,
help you
Jennifer.
grow. Taking
I might as well bring you over here. Jobs number to the upside. So, I mean, we'll go in and look at. I track QQQ. I mean, kill me. Everybody else tracks the S&P. I track QQQ, and we'll turn on after hours here. And I think it's going to. Oh, come on. We're gonna probably have to refresh this one. The 4 hour. This is what I get for not signing out and signing back in, but QQQ, and yeah, I'm gonna have to sign out, log out, and then we're gonna log back in. Boom, and we'll go over here, and it's still slow. Some bitch. It's the noisy neighbors problem, but if I wind up, there you go. So 8:30, we had the jobs report come in, and you can see spiked up. Good news. Good news. I had to turn on my do not disturb because I know people are going to email back some stuff. So let's start out. I mean, it's a bull market. So let's do some scans. Let's find some stocks that are moving up in the 4 hour. I know Google on the core. Yep. Google hit an all-time high yesterday. It's hitting an all-time high this morning. We'll go over that. I mean, that's just common sense. AI energy stocks, none in there. August, let's see, August buys. Nebius, NBIS, which is up 7% in pre-market, which was up again yesterday. I think I'm still down on that one. Let's look at these second half buys. Any of these? Nope. Let's look at the top 20, 23, 24, and 25 stocks. We've got MOD and SMCI. By the way, I have this done for me every morning, so I get an email. Just, you know, in case you don't know, Trendspider, you can set up to do it on its own. It's great. Energy names. I think there's going to be a couple in here. NXE and SCO, which is oil going down. And UTG, which I think is the Ultra Gold. No, Reeves Utility Income Fund. You can go and you research that one. It's a kind of like it's just, it pays you monthly, I think, or yearly on a huge, or quarterly. I'm not gonna do leveraged ETFs because I don't think we're in the market to do leveraged ETFs. None there. Let's look at Spider sectors. Nothing in the sectors. Let's look at the watch list, the overall watch list that I do share with people that sign up for Trendspider. AXON, AVGO, HIMS, Melly, which is under $2,100, MOD, which we had already, yes. Nebius, SMCI, and UTG, yeah. They're all on there. Let's go and index the Dow. Let's see. Anything in the Dow? Nope, nothing in the Dow. Let's look at the NASDAQ 100, which should have a ton. Applied Materials. Which, by the way, after earnings, could have bought the dip. I mean, was Sidekick right or what? By a couple of days after earnings on Applied Materials. It was right. Sell it going into earnings, and we saw the 4-hour algorithm. I'll show you that one if you want, but Google and Melly, okay. Let's look at the S&P 100. I don't like the 500 because I'm a big, larger cap stock guy. AVG and Google, yeah. So there you go. I'll include some scans in the newsletter. So go and run them on your own. See? Got you out right there. Got you back in. I don't know that I would have... I mean, again, that weekly and the RSI, I'm just not sure you can hold this. I mean, by now, everybody knows NVIDIA beat. It was a crazy numbers. In fact, one of the stats that I read, they had more revenue gain quarter over quarter this quarter than they did all of their revenue just 2 or 3 years back in a quarter. Just the gain. And for a nearly $5 trillion company to gain 5, 6, it was up 7%, I think, earlier this morning. To gain that amount, you're bigger than 90% of the S&P 500. Just the amount that they gained. That's how dominant that damn stock is. I mean, just, you know, and on a weekly, again, the 148, it didn't hold as, you know, we can look at the lows, 179. I mean, I think 180 is going to turn out to be a great buy, but morning, Josh, Jennifer, Rusty, DJ, Josh, Cam, Mark, and to Larry. Larry! If anybody watches the Impractical Jokers, that's the joke. It's been going on for years now, Larry. I don't know. I'm one guy that does wear out a joke. And buying QQQ under 600. Roblox, by the way, under 100. Wow. This is under 100. That's not loved. Shopify's up 5%. Want to know why? Jobs report, great. Economies, good. Jobs report, good. December rate cut, probably more in line. The AI trade, good. Don't fight the Fed, good. You know, it's going to come crashing down, and I will be late to the crash. 100%, I will be late to the crash. But, oh, by the way, today's thumbnail is me and Jensen shaking hands, just so you know. I thought that was pretty good. I don't know if it's too busy. I don't know. I can... Maybe that's a little better. Maybe. We'll leave it there. What the hell? We're going to get rid of that. By the way, this is I use Gemini. Just so you know, I use Nano Banana for all of that stuff. It's a great tool. Fantastic tool. And that's why you're seeing it win, but yeah, Mark, by the way, helped me out with my toilet yesterday. We were chatting online. He's like, are you going to go live for NVIDIA earnings? And I was like, no, I'm fixing a toilet. And he's like, ooh, I've done plumbing before. And it's still working this morning, Mark. Still working. In case you didn't see it, because, NVIDIA is going to dominate this podcast and the news, Walmart beat. They're basically saying the consumer's still strong. Palo Alto Networks is exactly what I said it was. And we will go to the chart on this one. It's a $200 stock. And then it fades off, and it's fading off. And Google, like I said, I use Nano Banana and Gemini 3, and I've been, using a bunch of those. Is it too late to get into Google? Because yesterday and today, it's at all-time highs. And this gain is just phenomenal. And you're going to have to, don't forget about AMD. Don't forget about SMCI. There is a whole circle of stocks that goes around with the NVIDIA beat that are taking off. And you're going to have to connect the dots like Taiwan Semi and just continue to go down the list. But that's kind of key. And I'm going backwards here. But have a watch list. I mean, get your damn watch list. Having a watch list is crazy. And by the way, NVIDIA hasn't even started selling into China yet, just so you know. I mean, that's still an up in the air opportunity. But the rest of the AI trade, boom. I mean, just the quarterly revenue, just NASDAQ futures. I mean, we're probably opening up. The key point is going to be, can we hold it? And it kind of points to Burry, Thiel, SoftBank, Druckenmiller. I mean, it kind of points to don't listen to a douche. And there were douches yesterday. Dan Nathan and Guy Adami on Fast Money. I was listening to them eat crow. And we've got some bullish divergence. Now, I'm also going to start with this particular Instagram. It's about immediately after I invest. It's a joke, but again, looking at the tea leaves in that one, you can kind of tell, and I'll tell you, I'll fill you in on a joke that I did yesterday that I thought was pretty good. But here you go. Jobs number increased. I mean, jobs September, the numbers in September increased. So, there's a lot of, here's the thing. I think they answered a lot of questions about the circular financing. That will get you out of the market, Larry. And by the way, Sorkin is making the rounds, and he's saying, I don't know when, but there absolutely will be a crash. And he's right. There will be a crash of the market. But the difference between now and 1929, remember, 1929, 1% of the population was in the market. So it didn't, while the market was down, the market wasn't what affected the economy. The economy was down just because of leverage and lending and blah, blah, blah. There also wasn't the safeguards that we have in there. Like, for instance, if the stock market is down, I think it's 5%, it calls a 30-minute halt. If it's down more than 5% for the next 30 minutes, it calls for another 30-minute halt. If it gets down 10%, I think you close for the day. And then there's safeguards in there as well. So you'd have to have a really bad situation. And remember, so the question is going to be, the chips are still good. And I think it was CoreWeave saying, hey, we're still using older chips. And they're depreciated. When does the spending stop? And again, I go back a year, and I kind of reiterate this. The second one of these hyperscalers says, we've got enough compute power, and we're going to wait. That's when you have a problem. But until then, I mean, you know, Burry shut down his freaking his fund. You know, and Michael Burry, again, he will be right. He will be right. At some point in time, the market will crash again. But I've seen it over and over and over again. And I think it has a lot to do with the way you're brought up and the way you kind of understand and learn the markets. If your first investment was in 1999 in like December, I mean, we can go back to QQQ and let's just look at a monthly. And say your first trade was in, you know, December or November 1999, and you felt great. You bought in at 60, say $70, okay? And then you saw it continue just kind of hovering around there, and then you saw it dip, and by December in the next year, you were at 50, okay? And then by April, by December of the next year, let's go to 2002, you were at 24. So you bought at 75, you were at 24 the following year, okay? 2 years, and you've lost all that money. You don't feel very good. You haven't had that happen since 2008, 2000. Again, 2008 looks like a baby compared to 2000. This is what could be in store again. I would argue we are a long way away from it, but absolutely, this is what could be in store. And even when you look at recent, again, I talk about this all the time. We haven't had a down candle since March. I should probably be doing this on the podcast. Yeah, I probably should be doing this on the podcast. So let me start out with that. Okay. I'm going to hit record. Morning, Jersey, Jacob. Good morning. It is Thursday, November 20th, or as we all know it now, the day after NVIDIA saved the bear market. Were you worried? We're going to talk about a lot of things. It's going to be mainly NVIDIA, but there will be other stocks in here that I will throw out there and other theories that I will throw out there because you've seen just since the beginning of November, we've been going down. But I was just going over on YouTube Live about some things. And I want to say this as kindly as possible. But if you are at a certain age, you don't know what a bear market is. And if you worried about the last, 20 days, you're not looking at the tea leaves. And I do think it has a lot with the way that you understand the markets, okay? So this is a monthly chart of QQQ. And I was saying, say you're a young lad and you're 29 years old. Okay, I was born in 1970. So in December 1999, I was 29 years old. I was already in the market for 15 years, 10 years. I think I started in 1985. So it's about 15 years. I was already in the market for 15 years. And it was a decent, good amount of 15 years. Now, December 1999, you bought into the Qs. Say you bought at $75, okay? $75 was where you bought in. You felt great come into March of 2000, just about 3 months later, because you're up at 100. You've made 25%. That's fantastic. 30%, whatever it is. And then you still go into 2000. And in December of 2000, a year later, when you buy, you are at $50. Okay, it's at 58. You don't feel good, but you're like, hey, the market's going to go up. Then you go out to December 2021. And remember, you bought at 75 and you close at 38. And then you go out to December 2022 and you're at $24. You've lost 70% of your money in 2 years. So you don't know what a bear market is until you understand that that's potentially what could happen. So the fear, oh my God, this is not going to end well, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's out there. And this is what could happen, but you don't want to get out of the market just because you have 20 days of bad market, because we pull into the current market. And I tell you this all the time, look at the monthly chart. We are still above that 9-day. We still have confirmation. Yes, it's a red candle and you're down 5%. But look at freaking October, 5%. The market doesn't always just go up. And again, if you're new to the market, 2022 might have felt bad. It was literally written for you. The Fed was raising rates. You knew what was going on. You didn't want to get out of the market, but you wanted to just make sure that you had enough cash and make sure that you had the opportunity to buy. And then October was the bottom of every time. And now what you're seeing, perhaps the bottom of November is in. But I made a joke yesterday, okay? I made a super joke. My weekly stock, who I'm personal friends with, he's great. He says, I will not call for a top and the bottom. So my joke, Grindr is the only place where you can actually declare a top and bottom. And if you don't know what Grindr is, it's a gay dating app. So go and Google what a top and bottom is in a gay dating app, and you'll understand why you can't call a top or a bottom and anything else. You can't. Because why? We get the September jobs number this morning, and while everybody was concerned, the Fed is not going to cut in December because the jobs market is breaking down. The jobs market in September actually looks really good. So again, calling a top, calling a bottom, make sure you understand your charts. And the charts are the most important thing. Now, when you look at the 4-hour algorithm, this is why I tell you, I love the 4-hour algorithm. I love using these previous highs and previous resistance points for support. And I love doing that. Why? It gives me a sense of where my stocks are, whether it's stocks, whether it's ETFs, whatever. But the 4-hour algorithm got you out at around 610. You're trading at 612 right now. It doesn't have you in. Did I trim at that 612? No, I wasn't concerned. I've been on this podcast saying completely that I think this is just a normal pullback. 5% is completely normal. And if we got to 8%, that would be the time where I would absolutely be concerned. And I would start trimming. And by the way, when I'm trimming QQQ, it's stocks that I've held. This is a stock, an ETF that I've held for years and years. So I'm going back to probably, 10 years ago, where if I sold it just based on last in, first out, or whatever it is, those principles, then I'm selling stocks that I bought like 15 years ago. So again, time in the market beats timing the market, and you can't time the market. And like I said, non-farm payrolls come in. We're seeing the market boosted up again. And it's important to keep your nose out of social media. NVIDIA is firing on all cylinders as they put a damper on all bearish themes. All bearish themes. Again, put it into perspective. I will go over these, but one stat that I heard that I'm going to put up front here so that everybody hears it before even a commercial break. NVIDIA in this quarter, just their gain in revenue, not the total revenue, just the gain in their revenue number for the quarter is more than they made in revenue just a few years back. The gain. And that's a $4.5 trillion company gaining that amount. That's the dominant position that they have in the market. If there's a bubble, again, Jensen addressed it on the call. Was willing to address the AI bubble and circular financing directly, while NVIDIA's place in the ecosystem puts it in a difficult position to speak to those concerns. We think this explanations for wanting to enable the growth in the ecosystem, the useful lives of its products, and ultimately the value proposition for AI investments resonates. That's from Morgan Stanley analyst. Again, I say this all the time. The concern is not NVIDIA. The concern is when Microsoft, when Amazon, when CoreWeave, when those guys stop spending on chips, That's when the chip cycle goes down. And I continue to think that AMD outperforms NVIDIA. NVIDIA is going back to a $5 trillion market cap. And I'm going to bring it up later. You're still seeing create that circle. And before you worry about a crash, I want to play this clip and go and watch it. It's like a couple minutes long. But it's a joke. It's about after you buy a stock, you immediately goes down. Here's the thing you have to know. And look at this. These are all extremely dated clips. And I go back to the monthly chart on QQQ. Those were during this time, during this time, during this time. But you don't want to invest assuming that this is going to be the news when you turn on the nightly news. You want to invest assuming that the uptrend that we are in is the nightly news. So again, the MACD is extended. The RSI at 78 came down to 70. Is that in comfortable territory? No. But you don't want to invest in these things and say, I'm going to get out just because I'm nervous. Because FYI, markets are bouncing on bullish divergence. And there are stocks out there like Microsoft, like HIMS, like Meta, like UNH, like Bitcoin, like SMCI, like Tesla. These are all indicators of a bullish divergence with RSI. I just went over RSI. So if you like these indicators, again, they are custom indicators on Trendspider. You can get them. So if you like a stock and you say, well, I don't know how it's trading compared to its RSI, is it bullish, is it bearish? Use AI to pull up the chart and ask it. And that's what Sidekick gives you. So again, Trendspider, it's on sale. It is such a good tool. It is such a good tool. I love the MACD and I love the RSI. And this divergence tells me I want to start buying these stocks. And you're going to hear a theme. Make sure you're adding stocks that you want to buy to a watch list because it does you no good to just sit there and stare at a chart. You have to take action. And Chris Camillo puts it perfectly. Were you scared because Burry shorted Palantir and he got out of the market, he said? Peter Thiel sold his entire NVIDIA stake. SoftBank sold their entire NVIDIA stake while buying NVIDIA chips. Druckenmiller said, hey, I think you should be 40% cash in the market or something of that. Were you listening? Because again, I think the market is still bullish. The economy, will go over this. Walmart just reported earnings. Good thing. They double beat and they got it higher. Strength of consumer. NVIDIA, the AI trade, it's still getting spent on. I found it extremely funny last night listening to the Fast Money guys. I was fixing my toilet. Shout out to Mark, again for helping me fix my toilet. I was chatting with him on Instagram, a listener. He was asking me if I was going live for NVIDIA earnings. I said, no, I'm fixing my toilet. But I found it super funny. Dan Nathan and Guy Adami have been all over. You got to be worried about this AI trade. And I'm just concerned. And was he lying at GTC when he said, hey, we're seeing a 50% up? Dan Nathan's like, oh my God, this is the greatest company. Again, they're going to change their tune based on the numbers. You've got to have a thesis out there. And, if it feels uncomfortable and you don't like holding NVIDIA up at these prices, don't. Get an ETF, get QQQ, start doing that if you don't feel comfortable. Again, that 183 provided extreme support. Now, the key is going to be, when you get to a chart like this, are we going to hold it? And that's the question, because the NASDAQ, they're jumping. And it rides on the AI rescue. All eyes on the September jobs report. And we just saw September jobs report came in great. So the Fed has the check mark to actually lower rates in December. Will they or won't they? Doesn't matter. If you see a dip because they didn't lower rates, go and buy it. And want to know why? Because come at the beginning of the year, they're going to start lowering rates because Jay Powell is going to be out and Trump is putting somebody in there. Well, guess what? they're going to lower rates. So again, look at the tea leaves, understand where you want to be, and don't follow me. You have to feel comfortable with this. And if you are uncomfortable in a position, then it's not a position for you to be in. And that's why I say all the time, you need to have a portfolio that allows you to sleep at night. And you can't follow somebody else. You can't follow me. You can't, because my risk tolerance is different than yours. I am not a financial advisor. I will never tell somebody you should buy this. When somebody asks me, what should I buy? I typically tell them, tell me what you're looking at. And then I'll say, well, is that a good opportunity? And I'll say, yeah, at the end, I'll tell them whether I own it or I don't. If I don't own it, it's not like, hey, I hate it. It's that I don't think my money is worth putting in there. And that's what you should be like. Because this was an uncomfortable time for a lot of people, but not for me. Want to know why? Because I have lived through that monthly chart. And maybe you haven't. And that's concerning. Because if you haven't lived through that type of downturn, and I wasn't as wealthy as I am back then as I was now, but the percentage felt the same. In 2008, my buddy that I went hiking with Monday, he was like, you know, most people were selling in 2008. You were just rebalancing into financials, into Fannie Mae, into other stuff, and you made a fortune. I said, exactly. In a down market, I was looking to just limit my losses. That's it. I wasn't pulling out of the market. So there's a way to do this, and you've got to learn to do it through mistakes. But your watch list is going to be key. NVIDIA surges, boosting market cap by over $200 billion. Go and check out what stocks you hold that are actually less than $200 billion, because that's what NVIDIA gained just in market cap. NVIDIA told us a few weeks ago at GCT that this would be strong. Big gains. Sidekick. When I asked Sidekick on Trendspider, I went in here and I think it was Monday or something. I had it look at NVIDIA earnings. The bull case. Beat plus Blackwell momentum plus margin expansion. 220 to 240 by Q1 of 2026. That's the bull case. FYI, you're trading under $200. That would be like a 10% move. And that's what happened. Bear case, miss or cautious guide. This didn't happen. That was going to retest 170 to 180. Base case, a modest beat, but muted reaction due to high bar. That's what's going on. 185 to 205. I would argue that over the time, we're going to see this base case move to bull case. But exactly what happened? The base case, probability, beat earnings 80%. That's the track record. Stock rallies more than 5%, 40% of the time. Stock sells off 30% if the guide disappoints. So again, Sidekick, it is such a good tool, and it nailed it. But this is going crazy. Q4 estimates were raised above what even the street expected. Plus the margins are getting stronger. What does that mean? That means that they have pricing power. They have priced in what they are doing. So bigger, you'll see the stock move. Plus, there were so many other stocks that moved with it. Broadcom, AMD, Qualcomm, Micron moved with it. And Micron, a big beneficiary of everything with NVIDIA. What you didn't see move? Meta. Meta moved up slightly, 2% to 602. You didn't see that one move. Microsoft up 1%, still under $500. You didn't see these recover. It does seem like the market is worried about the spending of those stocks, but it says, oh, where's the money going? Because they're not stopping their spend. So we're going to move money from here to here. NVIDIA is getting the money. AMD is getting the money. Taiwan Semi is getting the money. SMCI is getting the money. I think you're going to start to see the price target of NVIDIA get close to $500 based on this. It's crazy. It's crazy. The amount, again, They're sold out for 2026. And if you think that $500 on this stock is crazy, you're not looking at what they're doing. Revenue growth quarter over quarter is more than the revenue that they saw in quarterly revenue just 2 years ago. There has never been a company that has grown like this. You're also seeing the rest of the trade go on. Shai points it out. Cypher up 14%, Applied Digital 13%, Iron 10%, CoreWeave 9%, Nebius 8%, Wolf 8%, Bitfarm 7%, Galaxy 6%. You're seeing it drag it up. The entire market, everything that I've been talking about on a watch list is exactly what it's doing. And again, is it going to hold? I don't know. But we're seeing it play out now. So you've got to understand what's there and what's on your watch list. Oh, one other thing before we get off of NVIDIA. China is not even involved in this. Imagine if China is allowed to buy these NVIDIA chips. Just imagine. That's another growth territory. So a 5%, again, a 5% gain on this stock is $200 billion in market cap. That is larger than 95% of the freaking S&P. History has shown the stock fades after the surge. So if you are looking to buy this, wait 3 days. Wait 3 days. NVIDIA, wait 3 days. The 4-hour algorithm, it doesn't make you what buy and hold makes you, but wait, get in when a strategy tells you that it's good to go. Because you want to find a strategy and what is your strategy? If you're just like, well, I'm going to listen to Gary and buy, that's not a strategy. That's not a strategy. You got to have the tools to have a strategy. And I'm not saying you get premium and alpha picks. That's my strategy. Okay. And Trendspider. That's my strategy. Go and find what works for you. And if I'm part of it, I am honored. But what's on your watch list? Because again, Seeking Alpha, this is the tech. This is the tech communication stocks. These are the latest quant ratings. Okay, Micron slipped down to number 2 at 4.99. Seagate, which I've been hounding on, is at number 3 at 4.98. You got LITE up at number 1 at 4.99. Is that on your watch list? What's on your watch list? Again, if any of these companies aren't on your watch list, they probably should be. And you can get a 7-day trial of a Seeking Alpha Premium right here. Again, it's on Linktree. Go and explore Linktree. It's all there. But you've got to build it. It's an unseen gain in the market is having a good watch list. AppLovin is back to being a strong buy. Just so you know, again, your watch list is key. Now, in NVIDIA's results, guides for Taiwan Semi. Connect the dots. There is a whole, go and have a discussion with AI. Say, hey, NVIDIA just reported great earnings. Can you give me some stocks that are tied to NVIDIA's earnings and that followed suit and went up? Taiwan Semi is a strong buy in the quant. NVIDIA is not. Taiwan Semi has been a strong buy all the way back here to under $200. If you go back 3 years, it was even a strong buy back here at like $140. Remember, Warren Buffett dumped this one at 90. He said it was too expensive and the risk of political stuff with China was too much for him. Again, you have to be comfortable with what you own. Wall Street's price target of Taiwan Semi is $341. They're trading at $290, 21% upside. And don't forget about the people that make the racks, but even Supermicro, they're using AMD. They're going with AMD. Supermicro's a hole in the quant. And I still am concerned about the freaking accounting of this company. That hasn't even been addressed. But I've got my watch list. Hopefully you do too. And one of the top 5 holdings in my portfolio is Google. Google hit an all-time high yesterday. Okay? Gemini 3. Every thumbnail that you see on my, every graphic that you see usually starts in Gemini, Nano Banana. I love it. I use it every day. It's free, but they're tracking my my data. They're getting more data. But again, a $325 price target from Mahaney, that's great. Google is a hold in the quant. Do you want to buy it? It seems expensive. Wall Street's average price target, 311. That's 6% upside. By the way, it's at 303 today because it's up another 3%. It's a huge, huge gain. If we just go and look, in 6 months, you're up 74%. In a Mag 7 stock, in 6 months, you're up 74%. 1 month, you're up 15%. This one has been flying. They could get to a $4 trillion market cap soon. Is that over a crazy number? No. Want to know why? Because the valuation is down by 32% while the stock is up 144%. That's a good kind of disconnect. Again, this is what you can do and you can look at in Trendspider. The earnings, 41 times earnings. The PE, you're now trading at 28 times. When the stock was down here at 120, you were paying more for it, and I bought it at 120. I should be loading into this at 293. Am I? I've got a full position. I'm perfectly happy with the position size. But there was more out there than just NVIDIA. There was Palo Alto Networks. And I tell you, charts matter. Palo Alto, they missed. They didn't do great. I said it's a $200 stock. So back here in April, okay, as it started to rebound and it got over that 200, I saw it dip here in August to 171, and I said I didn't want to buy more because I didn't like it. But as it got up here towards 200, I said I'm going to trim it. So over here in August, late August, I got rid of half of my Palo Alto that I've held on to for quite a while. And you can see this, it hasn't gone anywhere. If you bought in February of 2024 at $190, guess where it's trading right now? $197. It hasn't gone anywhere. The MACD completely reset. The RSI completely reset. It's gone sideways. But I went and I bought AMD. Want to know why? It's got a different trajectory, okay? If you bought this way back in January of 2022 at 164, you're still up, and it's got a new trajectory. Again, I identified this one is falling down, and you could have trimmed up at that level. But I did really well because in August, this was trading at 160. It's at 223 right now. 230 in pre-market. So again, have your watch list, understand what you're invested in, go and look at charts. This is why you can't have 40 stocks in your portfolio. There's no way I'm doing all this shit for 40 freaking stocks every day, and I don't have a freaking job. This is my job. If you've got a regular job, there's no way you can do this kind of stuff. But you know what? Trendspider and Seeking Alpha, they both make it easy. I do this for like 2 hours a day. If you've got 2 hours a day, great. I do have more than 15 stocks in my portfolio. I'm able to manage it. But I'd argue if you have a full-time job, you don't have Trendspider and you don't have Seeking Alpha and you don't have good stuff, you're going to need 2 to 3 hours a freaking day to manage those positions. Even 5 or 6 might be too many. And then we talked about the economy. Walmart, topped estimates, guided higher. Walmart, the consumer's strong. The CFO said consumers are being more choosy and they're finding more people are taking advantage of Walmart convenience like delivery. Even low income are taking advantage of the convenience. FYI, want to know what's convenient for me? Freaking Trendspider. And if you're taking, okay, say you're taking advantage of a Walmart delivery, okay? And it costs you $5 per delivery per week for your groceries, okay? That's saving you a couple hours. I would argue, take that hour, put it into Trendspider at $68 per month for the next year. You get 4 trainings per month, 52 trainings, okay? 52 trainings. You get 1 a week. So go and times 68 times 12 and then divide by 52. That's how much these trainings are costing you. And you're getting Trendspider free. You're getting a month of Sidekick AI Basic for free. You're getting 1 free premium indicator. Again, it's a fantastic tool. So if you're one of those people taking advantage of convenience, this is the most convenient thing. And by the way, if you even want more convenience, get the bundle with premium alpha picks. If you want even more convenience where you don't need to do anything, just freaking get alpha picks. Again, the tools are about convenience. The tools are about basically getting you where you need to go. This signals either the consumer is strong or Walmart is the choice for consumers. Either way, Walmart's a great stock. And it's in my portfolio. Is it a major portion of my portfolio? No. And I've said it before. I like trading this between 106 or 96 and 105. It's at 103 in pre-market. Guess what I'm going to do? I am going to trim this one as it gets towards that 105, and I will buy it back under 100. Rinse and repeat. Simple. That's why you can't manage a portfolio with like 20 freaking stocks in it. So what did I do today? I went and I actually did some scans for the 4-hour algorithm. And I get this email every morning, but Google, so you see this entry at 247, that's great. That's great. But Google is telling you with the MACD and the RSI down here in the 4-hour algorithm, hey, we're getting ready for another run. Just look, and we just went over, it's cheaper than it was at 140 per share based on their earnings. Want to know another one that I actually own that I will be adding more to? Nebius. Got you in here at 92.43 yesterday. Where's it trading right now? $100. I will add to my position. Another one from watchlist. Modine Manufacturing. Okay, 141. Again, if this is your watch list, you can just literally go down the roll and do it. SMCI gets you in here at 34. Would I buy this one? Ooh, it's tempting. And you want to know why it's tempting? The RSI is at 20 freaking 5. Okay, the MACD is almost 3 points below the oscillator. And you look at the weekly, and it's not stretched. It's using that 200-day as support. And you're up, let's see, 6% in pre-market to 35. Great stock. I mean, again, if you could deal with if you want to trade it, here's the good part. If you want to trade it in the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 70% over the last 24 months versus 25% just buying and holding. So I would probably wait. You know, you could buy it right now because it's over the 9-day. You have confirmation. So if this is on your list, you can go buy it. Again, if it fits your risk profile. NXC, Next Gen Energy. This one, $8.20. You can see rising 200-day, below the oscillator on the MACD. RSI is below 50 at 46. You got a gap up here that was created on earnings. It's up 2%. The weekly, you can see it's a little stretched. Are we going for another run? SCO, I won't go over. UTG, I won't go over. Axon, is this a buy the dip opportunity on Axon? $531. The RSI is at 18. Nobody's showing up to buy this one. But you want to know? In pre-market, it is up 1%. You got a gap up here to 655. Again, does the risk fit your reward? The 4-hour algorithm wins 43% of the time. Your average win, 13%. Does it fit your risk reward? Broadcom. I'm the douche that sold this one at 170. Gets you another buy here at 354. The MACD below the oscillator. The RSI at 53. When you go and take a look at the weekly, it's still stretched. Does it make sense? Probably cheaper based on their earnings. One that I got asked about earlier this week, HIMS. I said, yeah, I'm not interested here at 43 because it just doesn't have confirmation. 35, RSI sitting there at 33. MACD sitting there. You go and look at the weekly. Is it stretched? Not really anymore. Is it putting in a bottom? Well, where are you entering? If you're using the 4-hour algorithm, at least you make 127% over the last 24 months. That's the goal. is the average win is 28% on this one. And if you don't think that this one has the possibility of popping, you're not reading the tea leaves, because I can just go over here and I can see 32% short interest on HIMS. It's got a hold rating. Wall Street thinks that it's worth 46. That's a 28% upside from here. So again, where's your watch list? Another one, Melly. This was one where I asked Perplexity about 6 months ago. Hey, give me stocks that over the next 5 years could turn $10,000 into $1 million, or 20 years or something. Melly fit that profile. Melly fit the profile. And you can see we've broken down out of that range. Weekly isn't stretched. The RSI on the weekly is 43. 4 hour gets you in. 4 hour makes you 42%. Buying and holding makes you 52%. I would argue you're better off buying based on the 4 hour algorithm than buying and holding. It makes no sense to buy and hold if it's that close. And one that we, earnings, Applied Materials. Sidekick got this one perfect. Sold right before earnings. You had the chance to buy the dip. And I said that 213 should provide really good support. It didn't. It broke down on one freaking candle, down to 203. The opportunity was to buy underneath there. Now you have confirmation that we're in an upward trend because the 4 hour algorithm got you in. So again, whatever tools you have, make sure you're using them to manage your portfolio. Everything that I use is over here on Linktree. Okay? I would urge you with the Black Friday sale, save over $200 on this. And a lot of people email me and they're like, within the first couple of weeks, Alpha Picks, which is the portfolio, they've actually made the money back from the subscription in the first couple of weeks. Again, take a look at it. And Trendspider, you can get it for $40 a month. $40 a month. Again, if you're not making $40 a month or saving based on some of the charts that you're looking at and alerts that you set up and the time that you spend, because you can look at charts every day. And I used to do this in Active Trader Pro, in Thinkorswim. I used to look at the charts every day. Now I'm able to back test my strategy. I'm able to set alerts and get a text. I'm able to understand more about the stocks because they have custom indicators that are set up for me. Again, Trendspider is just a tool. It won't take the step for you, but with the free 1 year of what do they give you? I think they give you, well, maybe not this one. Signal Stack is one that integrates with some brokerage firms. So you can set the strategy up for automated buying and selling. But again, it's there. The tools are out there. Go and investigate. Make sure you have the tools. That's the goal of this podcast. It's not to give you specific stocks. It's to make sure that you have some rules around your trading, rules around your portfolio management, rules around these things help you grow. I said it Monday. I got a call on Monday afternoon. Hey, do you want to go hiking? Yeah, I took Tuesday off. It's the lifestyle of making sure that you're making smart investments. That's what I did. That's what allowed me to retire. So again, that's what I'm trying to bring to you. Smart investing. Just think about it. And you're going to make mistakes. That's the other big thing. Make mistakes. Do it. Because I can guarantee you, if you're journaling, you will rarely make the same mistake twice. And mistakes that I made may not be mistakes to other people. Mistakes that other people have made may not be mistakes to me. You may say, I sold out of this one too early. If you took profit, that's not a mistake. If you took a loss and it continued to go down, it's not a mistake. So again, you have to journal these things. If you have any questions, hit me up. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, Eli, you and I have been over that. 60 freaking stocks. Oh, seeking out. Yeah, I think again, Alpha Picks, I think, has 40 some names in their portfolio. But I don't manage that portfolio, and I won't go the ones where I add outside of the holding percentage. I consider those managed positions. So I won't go for more than 2 or 3 at a time. It might get up to 4 or 5 if I see really good opportunities. Like App Loving to me right now. I think that one just turned to a strong buy on the quant. Let me go look it up. Yeah, it's a strong buy. Well, it's been a strong buy. I thought it was a hold for some reason. But this one, I'm waiting for that one to trigger a buy, and I think it might do it today, to be honest with you. It's up 5%. But I haven't added to this one because these buys didn't seem right to me. But now that you're down close to that 200-day, I'm like, I probably should take it. The MACD's down there. The weekly still concerns me. Honest to God, the weekly still concerns me. But if I take smaller positions in this, I'm probably okay. Again, I kind of go to that quant. You know, the valuation, it's always been a D. The growth, always been an A+. Profitability, always been an A+. The momentum hasn't been great. It's been downgraded from A+ to B. And the revisions, 3 down, 2 down on revenue. So yeah. So Ryan, mistakes are part of I call it a game sometimes. It's not a game because you shouldn't gamify this, but asking somebody else for their opinion is fine. Taking action based on their opinion alone is not fine. That's where I'm less likely to give my opinion to somebody who just says, "What do you think of this?" And the answer has been, "I don't own it." Or, "Yeah, I own it." Oh, I don't want that. We're going to redo this. And then we'll go over there. Okay.
Good morning. Thursday, November 20th, or as we all.
Okay. I should have made a graphic for this. NVDA day. Yeah, SMCI on the 4 hours actually really good, I think. SMCI. We'll wait for that one to come up. Is the market open? Yep, market's open. So let me take a look at my portfolio. Yeah, Eli, I still need to sign up for the pro. I think it's up at I'm probably going to sign up in December. I don't know what I'm going to do. Hold on, I got text photos. Let's see. My Webull portfolio is up 2%, 12,400. Remember, that was 14,000, so that's extra risky in crypto. The most crypto-friendly administration in history has not been a friend to crypto. I'm way up today. I'm not beating the S&P. I am up 1.5%. Why is that? Hold on. That's an interesting one. AlphaPix portfolio is up 2.5%. My individual portfolio is, it's the cash position that's hurting me. Because, yeah, well, it's the individual. What in the world is down? Netflix is down and Coke is down. Coke is a sell up at that price. I got to sell that one. I had that on my to-do list. I actually think, Eli, I think it's a good exercise to get uncomfortable and sell. But don't sell like stocks that are in a downward trend. Sell them and then decide, okay, I've got this bucket of cash. What am I going to do with it? It's a good exercise. And you can do that in a watch list, by the way. Paper trade it. And so throw it into Savvy Trader as a portfolio and show her, okay, you've got this stock, you've got this stock, you've got this stock. I would do this stock, and this stock. Set up 2 portfolios in Savvy Trader and just, side by side. Who did better? I mean, it's like, say yes to the dress kind of thing. Who wore it better? Today was very words based with some charts and some stuff in here, but I didn't sell too much, so. There is Trendspider. And we're going to do green screen. Wah, wah. I think my girlfriend's uploading new coffee cup and t-shirt designs today. And let's go over here. Oh, what happened?
My strategy, okay? And Trendspider. That's my strategy.
Okay, boom, boom. We'll put that there. Do, do, do. Google. Do, do, do. Wah, wah. Okay. Green screen. Okay. And export file. Do. That's a good idea. Let me grab this. Perplexity's so good. It really is. Let's grab this one. We're going to download this. And then I'm going to... I love this, by the way. I can just resize it. Yeah, I need to set up a copy and resize. I need to set up a chat thread with best prompts. We're gonna group. And we'll move, group, move that up there. Move this. And position backwards, backwards, backwards. And that's my, you know what? Let's just move that to the center and make it a little bigger. There we go. And then I can close that down. And I like TLN. I like TLN. I mean, I liked it better at the beginning of the year, but it was a strong buy in the quant for a long time. It was the top quant stock. 10% upside. That concerns me a little bit, the revisions portion, and probably why it got a hold. But good God, I mean, just 3-month performance, 6%. That's great. 6 months, 62%. Again, the long term kind of blows it away. It's just kind of stalled a little bit. You know, that one under its 200-day, probably the upside is probably to 440. I would think it would get back there. I mean, just the weekly just looks effing ridiculous. I mean, it just, you know, again, it's not a very old stock, so. Oh, that's funny, Eli. It recognized. Because probably you've asked it. I think Josh Brown or somebody told me, said on their podcast, they had, I think it was ChatGPT said, "What do you do for a living?" And he said, "I'm a financial advisor." And so whenever he asks it about stocks now, it literally will not give him advice. So, under intrinsic. Oh, that's always a good move to invest. It's still not done. Okay, so we've got to go to new episode. And it's still thinking. So, okay, I'm going to get out of here because I got probably a lot to do today. My toilet's fixed, which is good news. But I am sure my parents need counseling. Netflix has come after me, by the way, for the password change because my parents use my password, but I'm up there in between houses so much. It hasn't been an issue, but now it asks me every day. I'm literally changing the household so that they can watch whatever show that they want to watch. I don't have too many down. I mean, Palo Alto Networks being down 1% on a day like today is just, that's glaring. Yeah, my total portfolio is up 1.9%, but the NASDAQ is up 2%. Not great, but it is what it is. By the way, if anybody's renewing with Trendspider, just chat with them. Play golf opening day. Oh. Oh, my mom has a membership to this? Oh. Oh, interesting. Maybe I have to bring some golf clubs up. I probably won't. Why is freaking iMovie taking so long? Oh, there it is. Okay. We finally got it. Okay. My mom's got a membership to some sports club, probably where she plays tennis, and they're installing golf simulators. So, and opening day is in December, and they're inviting people to play. So she's like, you can go, and I'd gladly pay for you. And my parents, I don't think, understand how much money I have. I manage their portfolio, but they don't see my portfolio all the time. Yeah. All right. In reality, they should be paying for me because if they need long-term care, then Medicare comes after everything that they own. And okay, I'm out. You guys have a great day. If you need anything, I'm here. Okay, say bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.